Last week I made this video right up here showing how I take pictures of large items, specifically pot and pan sets, and I got a question about that video saying, but how do you pack those items? And I did send a reply saying, you know, hopefully I'm going to sell one and soon, and then I can show you how I pack these items. And wouldn't you know it, the very first item that I was taking pictures of in that video, I sold it yesterday. And so now I get to pack up that same exact set of pots and pans from that video. Also had this comment right up here a couple weeks ago saying only you would say it's easy or stress-free or whatever it was, whatever it says up there, to pack a set of pots and pans in a video. And we're like, man, I bet there's some damage, something like that. But I've never had any damage on pot and pan sets shipping them before. And I don't know, maybe easy is not the right word. It's just not too difficult once you get into it. But so what we're going to be shipping today is this set of Revere ware, vintage Revere ware, copper bottom, 2 stock pots, lids, 3 saucepans, 9 pieces in total. We'll get into that. But if it's your first time here, my name is Brian and I'm a reseller. I sell on eBay in the everything category, which is pots and pans, cookware, clothing, tools, toys, you name it. I'm probably trying to sell it on eBay for a profit. I source my items at garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores, and Facebook Marketplace, all to flip on eBay for a profit. So one thing I'll start off with is whenever I do my pots and pans, I always overestimate the box size to give myself room in case I need to do extra packing, or for some reason I grossly underestimate the size I need. The baseline box size I use is a Lowe's large box. They have a square box. It's an 18 by 18 by 16, which are the interior dimensions of the box. Whenever you take into account the thickness of the box, the exterior dimensions rounded up to the nearest inch are 19 by 19 by 17. That's the measurement I use for the vast majority of my pot and pan sets whenever I list them. And that box, I ship FedEx home delivery. So I would recommend not shipping USPS for big pot and pan sets just because it's so expensive. They're not equipped in their smaller trucks to handle the big boxes. They can do it, but they're going to charge you significantly more than you're going to pay on FedEx home delivery, and your customer's going to pay. All of mine is customer paid shipping. So when you're shipping through FedEx home delivery or UPS, you need to look at the dimensional weight. So those two carriers are going to take the greater of either the actual weight or the dimensional weight. In this case, this set weighs about 8 pounds with a box, maybe 11, 12 pounds, maybe in packing. But the dimensional weight on a 19 by 19 by 17 box is 37 pounds. So that's going to be your billable weight. So you take the 19 times 19 times 17 equals whatever that number is, divided by 166, comes out to your billable weight. That's a formula that they publish on somewhere on eBay, I believe, and then it's also published on FedEx's website as well. But it is something that you want to watch out for if you're shipping larger items, so that don't weigh a lot. But I don't always actually use that box. That's just the weight I put in to calculate the shipping on eBay for the buyer to pay a shipping amount. So oftentimes, say 95% of the time, I'm able to ship in a smaller box, which is the case here today. I found a box here, one that my dad had brought to me. This is a 21 by 17 by like 9, something like that. So I think I may actually even be able to cut it down a little bit lengthwise. I'm going to see once I get everything set in there, but this is the box I'll be shipping in. You'll notice it's not a double corrugated box. Once you get your packing material in here around this, get this used tape off here. Once you get the packing material in there and you have everything situated, it's going to be nice and snug inside the box. Unless somebody tries to crush it, nothing's going to happen to this. This is stainless steel and copper cookware. It would take a significant very significant event to cause damage to these products. Like I said, this is how I ship these things, and this is probably my, I don't know, 12th, 13th, 15th, I don't know, set of cookware, and many, many single pieces of cookware sold, and I've not had damage on any of it. So single pieces I tend to ship USPS, and the big sets I ship FedEx Home Delivery. All right, well, we're going to get to going and packing this stuff up so you can see exactly how I set it up to get out the door. First thing we're going to do is wrap everything here. It doesn't have to be overly wrapped, but you don't want it clanking around. You don't want it rubbing on each other either. You don't want the finishes to be rubbing necessarily, even though this is not in perfect shape. I did clean it all up, polish the bottoms and stuff, but I'm going to ship all the lids inside of the bigger stock pot, so we're going to wrap these lids up. I'm looking, yeah, I'm probably getting a bubble wrap out. I don't think I need to get any new bubble wrap. That one's not gonna, nope, okay. We'll nest these right inside of each other like that. Let's see, yeah, then nest that one like that. That'll be perfect. We've got the two bigger ones nested and the smaller one nested in the top there, separated by bubble wrap again, so they're not rubbing all over each other and the finishes rubbing. That shouldn't happen because the way they're going to be packed, they're going to be packed nice and tight in the box, but still, don't want to leave any room for that. Okay, and these guys will just set right here inside the large stock pot. This is going to just set in the bottom in there, so that will get stuff in the top as well. I'm going to put the next stock pot. So these two stock pots both fit the same lid. I'm going to put the lid on top of the shorter one. That way they're about the same height, and it saves height room, so it doesn't need to go on here to hold anything in. I will put it upside down though, so I don't have the handle sticking up. I can't remember who pointed that out whenever I was stacking stuff early on, but somebody viewing a video early on, one of the subscribers, pointed that out, that I should put the lids upside down to protect the handles from getting damaged. And I like it. I started doing that right away. That's when I was a little bit kind of new to cookware still. I'm not an expert at all, not even a little bit, but I do like selling it. So there's that. And then we're going to go back to our 3 saucepans here. So I'm a fair amount taller right there than, because I've got these 2 shorter ones. So a 3, a 2, and a 1 quart. You can see the 3 quart is quite a bit taller, so stacking those isn't going to be a good idea in that box. So this one will be single, and I'm going to stack the 1 quart inside the 2 quart. Get some bubble wrap there. So I got a little bit of bubble wrap in between the 1 quart and the 2 quart, just so there's no rubbing of the 2 pieces inside. Have it all nice and covered with stretch wrap, so this isn't up. There's a piece right here that's exposed. I do like to cover everything, so let's go around it like that. That way nothing's rubbing inside. It shouldn't still, but in any case. And this one here, I'm just going to wrap in stretch wrap. It got a hold of my scissors there. I used to wrap every single piece in bubble wrap pretty thoroughly and then stretch wrap around it, and I discovered that it really wasn't adding any extra benefit because I was keeping the pieces separate anyhow. They weren't rubbing because of the barrier and the stretch wrap, and it just didn't make sense to be stretch wrapping and bubble wrapping. It was a little bit of overkill. So I'm going to put some packing paper right in there. The reason I'm doing that is because the lids are in there and I don't want them clanking around inside, so use the packing paper as void fill. That'll put pressure on those, and I'll stretch wrap this one. I'm not affiliated with any of the packing materials I use, but I will put links in the description for the stretch wrap that I buy. I buy it off of eBay, and the packing paper I just buy it at Walmart. So that's going to be up to you. It's the cheapest place I can find it. And then the bubble wrap I get from American Bubble Boy, and my packing tape I get from American Bubble Boy as well. So make sure the handle's covered. Okay, now I've got everything ready to box up. Everything's wrapped, ready to go in the box. So hopefully you're seeing that this isn't very intimidating to ship. It can seem that way because it's big, bulky stuff, but it's not big, bulky, fragile stuff, which is nice. So I'm just going to kind of test fit this and see what it's like. I am going to be using this whole box. So on a test fit, that's roughly what it looks like. It's kind of hard to show off, but that's what it looks like with a test fit. So that's okay. It's still significantly smaller than the boxes I had planned on using, or the box I had planned on using. So now we'll start getting some packing paper in here to get started. Shouldn't need the scissors anymore. And we will create the shipping label as well, so you can see the difference in the pricing on the shipping labels. So this is one of those things though. So this set with 9 pieces, I'm into it for, gotta think back, I don't remember what I put in for the cost, but it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm into it for maybe, I think it's like 20 bucks. 20 to 22 bucks for the set. So I buy them all in fairly rough shape, and then I clean them up Got a pretty decent process for cleaning them up now. It's pretty fast. But I sold it for $130 plus shipping. So they're paying, I don't know what for shipping, but they're probably into it for close to $175 to $200, somewhere in there, with tax and shipping. So you don't want to be cheap on your packing materials. You want to make sure you're giving your customer a good experience. It could be tempting, because it's metal, it's not fragile, to just set it flat on the bottom of the box and pack all around it. But I like to put packing paper on the bottom as well. And again, this stuff's not, it's cheap, not free, but I want my customer to have a good experience. I'll come back and use that one. So now I've just got kind of a base layer there of paper. So I'm going to set these in here. Then I'll start working on what I call the cocoon, getting stuff wrapped around everything, and then show you that part. I'm going to get it nestled in here first. Let's see, how did I have that a second ago? I think I had both the stock pots. That's right, I had them on one side. Okay, so I think I can show you that. It's kind of what it looks like to start with. Now I'm just going to go a little bit crazy, packing stuff all around. Whenever I'm doing this, I tend to use 2 pieces of packing paper at a time to give it just more fidelity inside the integrity inside the box. So single pieces can obviously crunch up a little more, and if there is a blow to the side of the package anywhere, you want to make sure that you get the absorption you want with your packing material. That's a pretty good view of it all kind of in the cocoon right there, right there. So it's all wrapped around. Now I'll just start filling in the top. do want your packing material in the very end to be just a little bit fluffier than the top of the box. You want to be able to put a little bit of pressure on it to smush your packing material down. I'd even like just a little bit, just a touch more, so it's nice and protected inside. There we go. That's kind of what it looks like. So it is just a ton of packing material right in the top there. Just a lot. I'm probably spending, I don't know, $2 on packing material in this order. It's $12 per pack. I'm just trying to basic math in my head, trying to figure out how many. There's a small gap right here in the cardboard. So what I'm going to do is look at the size of the package. I'm going to put a piece of cardboard right here in the middle across the top, so that whenever you close it up, you're not seeing any gap there in packing materials. Okay. First piece of tape on. This foam piece tends to slide around once I get something heavy kind of digging into it. On top of my cart here. Okay, now let's go all the way around. All the way around the box, all the way around. There's an old UPS ground sticker there. You want to make sure any old shipping labels, if you're reusing boxes, you take those off. Carriers do not like that. One right around the side. Not a sound coming from that is perfect. I switched to 3-inch tape a little while back too. I used to use my quarterly promo code credit dollars that comes with my eBay store to get the 2-inch wide eBay tape in the different colors, and I don't love the tape, and I heard people talking about 3-inch tape a couple times, so bought some 3-inch tape from American Bubble Boy, the my go-to tape. And I picked up a Uline tape gun, not from Uline. I bought it on Amazon. Boy, this thing is amazing. I used my 25-cent tape gun for so long, I just dealt with it. After using this, it is so smooth. I was like, man, now I regret not buying it sooner. But it was expensive. I'll put a link for it, but I think it was like 25 or 30 bucks for the tape gun. But I do not regret it. Versus 25 cents for my other tape gun. So this is the box here. Let's get an actual weight on it just to make sure. I know it's not more than what the dimensional weight's going to be, but gotta double check. Because the first time you don't check, you might be wrong. I was close. I said 11 or 12 pounds packed up. It's 12 pounds 2 ounces. So feel okay with that. Now, let's get the dimensions on this bad boy. Calculate our dimensional weight. It's 21, so it's like 20 3/4. You'll always want to round up to the next inch on your measurements. So 21 by 17 exactly. It is 17, and it's not exactly like under 17. It's exactly like, it's 17 for real. Let's see. This is 8 3/4. That's going to be 9. So it's going to be a 21 by 17 by 9. Let's see what the dimensional weight is. Okay, let's brighten my screen here. So, see if we can do this here. So we do 21 by 17 by 9. If you can see how I did that. 21 by 17 by 9 equals, so 3,213 divided by 166. There. And rounding up, so it's 19.355 pounds. It's going to be 20 pounds. A lot less than the 37 I was projecting before. So we're going to go into eBay. We're going to go into the order. I'm going to get my shipping label. Just got an eBay notification just now. Sold a shirt. That was awesome. A Duluth Trading Company shirt. 2XLT orange blue plaid short sleeve. Sold that for $13.89 plus shipping. It's going back and forth with offers with the guy. It's pretty awesome. And the funny thing is, his username is Duluth, Minnesota, which is where Duluth was born. Guessing he lives there. I don't know. Maybe he works at Duluth. I don't know. But he bought a Duluth shirt on eBay. So, okay, enough of that. So, here's what the order says right now. 37 pounds, and you can see the measurements on there. So we're going to edit that. I'm going to put in the 20 pounds. We're going to go 21 by 17 by 9. So you can see I've got all that in there. Save it. And we're going to go down and look at what our shipping cost is going to be now. So buyer paid $20.59. We're paying $15.11. So we're making what, $5.78 on, or $5.48 on that shipment, which is huge on a $130 order. That's probably an extra 3% that we're making on that order, which is humongous. So that's awesome. Love. That's how I keep my profit margins where they are. I don't always get great ones, but it's going to St. Louis, Missouri. Save our label. I'm going to open it in my printer app. Should connect and right. There we go. Preview and print. Print the label. FedEx labels don't leave you any extra room to write a note. Usually I write a thank you note on there. So whenever I do FedEx labels, I always print an extra piece of paper. That's one thing I do. I know a lot of people will use stickers. Silly. My trash can's full. But I do a handwritten note on every single order that I ship out. Just something I like doing. And that's it. That is start to finish shipping a set of cookware, 9-piece set of Revere ware, vintage Revere ware, 2 stock pots, 3 saucepans, 4 lids, and got it all packed up in a nice 21 by 17 by 9 box. Weighed in at 12 pounds 2 ounces, but billable dimensional weight is 20 pounds. We'll go drop this off at FedEx, and I'm sure it'll be to St. Louis in the next 2 to 3 days. It's fairly close here, and someone's going to get themselves a nice set of cookware. If you have any comments or questions about what I did here, if you have any comments saying, hey, you should do this differently, or this is how I do it, definitely open to any feedback on shipping pots and pans. I don't claim to be an expert. I've packed a handful of them, and this is how I do it. But I'm open to new ideas. Really appreciate you watching, and until next time, have a great day.